Now, for anyone out there that follows some of the news, there's a very interesting event that's expected to happen next week. Now, this event, you can ignore it if you want, or you can take it seriously. The choice is yours. I'm just here to report the news. Next week, there's going to be an eclipse. Now, this eclipse, the last time it happened, a similar type of eclipse, was 1979. 1979, almost 40 years ago. But the last time it did what it's expected to do this time, which means that this eclipse is expected to be shown all the way from the west coast to the east coast of America. It's supposed to, in essence, cut America in half. As far as, like, if you look at the map of America, they show you the visual of what it's supposed to do, who's going to see it, who's not going to see it. This eclipse said it's going to be pretty much, it's going to travel all the way from the west coast to the east coast. So far, interesting. Big deal. What does it mean? The last time such a thing happened was 100 years ago, 1918. If you remember, a lot of bad things followed 1918. You had World War I, you had World War II, you had the Great Depression. A lot of bad things happened. In Gemara Masechet Sukkah, page 29a, it says, when such a thing happens, it's a sign from God as if there is an hourglass, as if there is a ticking clock of when Hashem's patience, in so many words, will run out. There's something bad coming. Specifically to the place of where it's shown. If it's shown in the west, something bad will happen in the west. If it's seen in the east, something bad will happen in the east. So they say, what are the reasons? Now, I'm going to tell you what the Gemara says are the reasons for such a thing. If those reasons are not valid, you have nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. If these reasons are valid, you have to make a different choice. What are the reasons for such a thing to happen? If a giant sage, one of the Av Bedins, died and was not mourned properly, rabbis not respected and honored like they're supposed to be, especially the ones that have passed recently, whether it be Rav Ovadia, Rav Eliashiv, some of the other giants that have passed away just in this past year, if they were not mourned properly, some will say yes, some will say no, whether it's valid or not. So, 2, families breaking shidduchim. We're not talking about the chatan and kala breaking the shidduch. We're talking about the family. The family breaking the shidduch. Abba and Ima supposed to help the son. Abba and Ima supposed to help the daughter. But they break the shidduch. No, he's Moroccan. No, he's Ashkenazi. No, he's Sephardi. No, he's Yemenite. No, he's Ethiopian. No, we don't like him because he's too tall, he's too short, he's too rich, he's too poor, he's too this, he's too... You heard of such a thing? No, never heard of such a thing. Broken shidduch, never, right? I just let you know, last night at 2 o'clock in the morning till 3 o'clock in the morning, I spoke to a guy in Canada about what? His father, who's a rabbi, is doing everything he can to break his shidduch. Everything he can. Everything he can for months to break his shidduch. Why? Ga'avat adam tashpilenu. The pride of man will be his downfall. That's reason number 2. 3, homosexuality becoming acceptable. You guys ever heard of such a thing? Maybe a gay pride parade or something like that in this generation? In Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, America. Nothing, that's the thing, right? No, nothing like this. No. Only in the generation of Jeremiah, maybe. Or the last and the most scary one, which answers your question from before the shiur. You didn't even ask it, but it's going to answer it already. If 2 brothers shed blood in the same day, 2 brothers shed blood in the same day, Anyone who didn't read the news just a few days ago, 2 brothers, Jewish brothers, were stabbed over a parking space. One died. And he knew one of them. 2 kids got into a fight, 2 young guys got into a fight with some other people over a parking spot. The hoodlum in the other car didn't like it, so he decided to stab both brothers. One died, the other one got stabbed in his arm, but Baruch Hashem, he's okay. So the Gemara in Masechet Sukkah says this would be one of the reasons. Why? I don't know. This is God. This has nothing to do with me. Other reasons for these such things are forgeries in Jewish law. Have you heard of such a thing? Forgeries in Jewish law? People that invite maybe Christian missionaries to shuls. You ever heard of such a thing? False witnesses, like the people that pretend like they're religious because they have a beard, but they lie on the stand. Disrespecting the land of Israel, doing things that are against the Torah, whether it be cutting fruit trees or raising specific type of cattle. But out of the list of almost, I believe, 8 or 9 things, I think we're 90% at least. So, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to tell you what the Torah says. What the Torah says is that if you haven't started doing your tshuva, I don't care if you were born religious, are religious, think you're religious, want to be religious, if you haven't started doing tshuva, you're running out of time. I talk to all types of people every day. And the conclusion of many of the conversations is that many people are very, very comfortable with where they stand. If they're not religious, they come, they tell me, oh, I have a problem, I'm sick, I'm divorced, I'm whatever, something happened, some disaster, they want some help, some advice. Baruch Hashem, we try to do the best that we can. And guiding them by the way of Torah, and tell them, okay, listen, you have this, you have this, you have this. Okay, great, you have only one solution. I have a solution, but you have one solution. It's only one. There's only one medicine. There's one cure to all of your problems. Oh, great! They get excited. Divorced, sick, poor, headaches all the time, whatever. All types of problems. There's one solution. One pill fixes everything. Great. What should I do? Listen to God. What do you mean? God said in the Torah, keep Shabbat. That means you have to keep Shabbat. Once this week? No, all the time. God said you have to wear clothes that are modest. Modest. Meaning if you're wearing a skirt, and as a woman, you have to wear the skirt that covers your knees after you sit down. Not that you're pulling it down constantly for 20 minutes, just to make sure it covers the knees. It has to cover the knees after you sit down, which means ideally, the skirt should be very loose and all the way up to the ankles. That's ideally. That's the really way it's supposed to be. But if you want to play with a little bit of fire, you want to wear a shorter skirt, fine. But still has to be kosher. Your clothes have to be loose. You can't go out there thinking that you're modest, even if it's a long skirt, if it looks like a bodysuit. When Hashem says, I'm going to test you, in this week's parasha, I'm going to test you, והבאתם שמה עולותיכם וזבחיכם ואת מעשרותיכם ואת תרומת ידיכם ונדריכם ונדבותיכם ובכורות בקרכם ובצונכם. So here, he says in chapter 12, verse 6, and there shall you bring your elevation offerings and feast offerings, your tithes, meaning your maaser, and what you raise up with your hand, and your vow offerings, and your free will offerings, and your firstborn offerings. What are you talking about, all these offerings, all these korbanot? Why don't you just say, your offerings, your korbanot, that's it? He says, no. You want to be a kosher Jew? It has to be with all of your money. Bekol me'odecha. Not just the money that you make on the side business that's cash, you give $20 from it. The whole thing, the company, the big company, the small company, the stock market, the IRA, the 401k, the this K and that K, all the Ks. All of them. You want to be kosher Jew? Bekol me'odecha. Don't cheat God. Don't cheat God and think that you're okay. So here he's telling you all the different types of korbanot, all the different types of kivyachol tzedakah. You want to be close to me, he says. It has to be with all of them, not just with the ones that you think makes you look good. Like people go to Beit Knesset twice a year, they give tzedakah on Yom Kippur, but they don't pay until Rosh Hashanah of next year. That's not kosher tzedakah. Why? Because all you did is a marketing effort. You told everybody that you're very, very humble and very honest and very great by donating publicly, but you didn't really give until next year. That's not kosher tzedakah. That's a marketing investment. Because the whole year you got business from people because they say, look, this guy's honest and he's generous and he's great. He gave $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 to the Beit Knesset. He screamed out, $15,000 for Aliyah. What Aliyah? Just do what it says in the Torah. Forget the Aliyah. Just do what it says for free. Free. You don't have to go Aliyah. You don't have to buy nothing. Just do what it says for free. So Hashem Yitbarach is telling you in this week's parasha, follow it. The whole thing with all of your money. So in next week, this event, this giant event, that hasn't happened in decades, also happens to be on Rosh Chodesh Elul, which is also called Yom Kippur Katan. Rosh Chodesh Elul is a time for tshuva. If there was ever a time for a person to really start digging deep inside and try to find all these character flaws that he has and start working on them, this would be the time. Because Hashem Yitbarach during this month brings the Shekhinah down and he gets closer to us. And he says, okay, I'm listening. I'm listening. What do you got? What are you saying? What do you want? The whole year you're asking me for stuff. Fine, I'm listening. No? What are you doing for me? Okay, Parnasah I gave you last year. Rosh Hashanah I decided you're going to get 100,000, you got 100,000. Wife, I gave you. Last year you got married. Kids, you had a kid 6 months ago. No? What are you doing for me? What about now? When are you going to start learning Torah? When are you going to start doing mitzvot like you're supposed to and not stop making pretend like you're doing it? You know, like the guy that's only a tzaddik inside the Beit Knesset. Inside the Beit Knesset he puts the kippah on. Outside he looks like everybody else. No? When are you going to look like a proud Jew all the time? When? So Rosh Chodesh Elul is happening and we also have this event happening. And anyone that hasn't been sleeping under a rock also knows that the war already started, but it's about to get bigger. Right now it's a chicken match between North Korea and Donald Trump of who's going to press the button first. They're both dying to press it. It's an ego battle, and they're both dying to press it. The next war is the last war. It's not a matter of prophecy or anything even remotely close to prophecy, it's just common sense. Just common sense. The next war is the last one. So now Hashem Yitbarach is giving you many, many signs, many, many different things to explain to you that it's time for us to do tshuva. You have this major event, you have Rosh Chodesh Elul, you have Parashat Shavua and what he's telling you just in the first verse of the parasha. You have what's happening worldwide, how much Am Yisrael is hated and despised everywhere, whether it's in America or in Israel or anywhere. It's happening. So now, this public service announcement is either going to wake you up or it's going to confirm that you're dead.